11 News starts with severe weather Team 11 coverage.
Good afternoon, I'm Gordon Lesh. We're getting a break from the snow showers we saw all weekend and through this morning, but more is headed our way. Meteorologist Danielle Dozier tracking the timing now in Severe Weather Center 11. Danielle?
Gordon, that's right. We are getting that break right now. If you look very closely, you'll see a little speckle here or there, which is where we have a few flurries occurring, but the majority of our area is quiet after the weekend snow. Outside right now, you can see the snow blanketing the area. It is cloudy and we'll keep a cloudy sky around. The temperatures are ranging from about 30 in Pittsburgh and Greensburg to freezing in Beaver and 31 degrees out in Washington. It feels even colder right now because our winds are breezy. So the feels like in Indiana is 19, 21 the feels like in Greensburg, and it feels like just 22 in Washington. So we'll have the layers on today and the heavy coats. And coming up in my full weather forecast, I'll let you know how strong these winds will be throughout the rest of the afternoon and how long we'll be dealing with these low wind chills and when that snow moves back into our forecast.
All right, thanks, Danielle. State police say icy conditions played a part in this accident in Lawrence County. A truck hauling a double trailer lost control of the rig on Interstate 376 in Pulaski Township. You can see from the photo the tractor trailer jackknifed the cab of the truck and one trailer went over the guide rail. That driver was taken to the hospital. Flames sparked in the basement of this home and quickly spread to the third floor. All three people inside that home on Centennial Avenue in Sewickley were able to get out. Channel 11's Alyssa Raymond learned what fueled the fire.
We're inside of this house when the fire started around 5 o'clock this morning. A guy who lives here with his parents says that he woke up, he smelled smoke, and he saw flames in the corner of the basement.
Very lucky. Very lucky. We did lose a pet in it.
All three people inside this house in the 800 block of Centennial Avenue made it out safely. Their Yorkie did not. The fire chief says there's a lot of damage, but the family should be able to rebuild.
Due to the construction of the house, it spread very rapidly from the basement up to the third floor.
Firefighters found a few pictures and grabbed them for the family. And throughout the morning, neighbors brought them clothes and food. The Red Cross also showed up to help. Since the fire just happened this morning, the fire marshal is obviously still investigating the cause of this fire, but they do think they know what started it. Tonight at 5, the warning from the fire chief here about what you and your family need to keep in mind this winter. Reporting in Sewickley, Alyssa Raymond, Channel 11 News.
In the past hour, the Allegheny County Health Department has released an update on COVID cases. They've learned of 796 new cases since Saturday, so that's a two-day total. And that trend continues what we started to see last Thursday of lower case counts. The health department is also reporting 4 additional deaths. 3 of the victims got the virus at long-term care facilities. Now to the race to vaccinate our veterans. The Pittsburgh VA started giving shots to veterans on Saturday, and there was such a big turnout they had to make some changes today. And that shows just how many people want to get the vaccine. Channel 11's Mike Holden shows us what the VA changed to make things go smoothly today.
Today is a second chance for senior veterans right here at the VA in Oakland to get their COVID-19 vaccine. There has been a tremendous turnout at this point, and the officials behind this say they believe even more people will be arriving here in the hours ahead. They certainly say it's been a learning experience since Saturday's event, but they're ready to help everyone in need. More than 900 veterans here in Oakland got the Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine this past weekend. Organizers are expecting just as many today during this walk-in clinic. We told you on Saturday, some veterans say they waited in line upwards to 4 hours. So today, VA officials are splitting the alphabet in half to avoid congestion and delays. Last names A through M can get their shot between 8 o'clock and noon. N to Z can roll up their sleeves for their turn from noon to 4. Only veterans 75 and older are eligible for the vaccine, and they must be enrolled in the VA healthcare. VA officials tell us their primary focus is protecting the safety and well-being of our most vulnerable population.
And we learned from it and made the adjustments to make it go more smoothly, but it was a wonderful sentiment on the veterans saying, yes, I'll come and wait however long it takes. I want to get my shot.
And the second dose of the vaccine should be given out in 3 weeks. In the meantime, the clinic runs until 4 o'clock today. Starting at 5 for Channel 11 News at 5, we're now talking to veterans who are on the receiving end of the vaccination, their message to others, and why they believe that this is such a great opportunity. That's all starting at 5. Reporting in Oakland, Mike Holden, Channel 11 News.
Breaking now, a fire several blocks away from the U.S. Capitol prompted a lockdown and the evacuation of an inaugural rehearsal. Our Jacqueline Fell is live in Washington. And Jacqueline, we are just 2 days away from the inauguration. What's the latest there?
Well, Gordon, the lockdown lifted just about 30 minutes ago, but things are tense here in Washington. The Capitol complex was locked down and people rehearsing for Wednesday's inaugural events were evacuated due to what Capitol Police were calling an external security threat. We now know that that lockdown and evacuation was due to a fire several blocks away where a number of homeless people gather. D.C. fire officials telling me a woman was using propane in a tent that caught fire. It was quickly extinguished. The woman has non-life-threatening injuries. There was never a threat to anyone else, but at the Capitol, it was high alert. An email sent to lawmakers telling them to stay away from windows and doors and to seek cover if they were outside. This just goes to show how on edge the district is after the deadly Capitol attack earlier this month. The area is like a military zone this week as police ramped up security and National Guard troops surround the Capitol complex. Earlier today, I actually could see a marching band heading down the street. It was all part of the inaugural rehearsal. That rehearsal was originally supposed to be scheduled for Sunday, but it was postponed today due to the concern of other heightened threats. Gordon, back to you.
Jacqueline, thank you for that live report. Meanwhile, fearing an inside attack, the FBI is vetting all 25,000 National Guard troops sent to Washington, D.C. for the inauguration. Military commanders have been told to be on the lookout for any problems within their ranks. So far, there has not been any evidence of any threats, and officials say the vetting has not flagged any issues. And National Guard troops are getting some new accommodations after video went viral of them sleeping on the U.S. Capitol floor. Troops are now resting on cots there inside the Capitol. Here's a live look from Google Maps of all the roads blocked in D.C., from DuPont Circle down to the White House and Capitol Building and all the way back to the Pentagon. It's all shut down to traffic. The National Guard and other law enforcement officers are now manning that expanded perimeter around the heart of the city. And leaders are asking Americans not to come to D.C. to witness the inauguration. NBC's Jay Gray has the developing details.
The buildup of troops in Washington continues. More than 15,000 soldiers now posted around the Capitol and across the city, with another 10,000 expected before Wednesday's inauguration.
It is a deterrence for people who are going to do bad things. This is to keep people safe and to understand that we are here for the American people.
The show of force stretching across the country right now. State capitals continue to be on high alert after a warning from the FBI of possible protest and violence from armed right-wing extremists.
Hopefully it will be peaceful, and then hopefully people will go home. But we just need people maybe to take a deep breath.
The country still trying to catch its breath after the deadly attack on the Capitol complex.
We never believed that so-called patriots would attempt to overthrow their government and kill police officers, but that's exactly what happened.
Security teams remain in place to make sure it doesn't happen again. Now, this security presence is expected to stay in place in some form, not only here but across the country, well after Wednesday's inauguration. Jay Gray, NBC News, Washington.
Pittsburgh Mayor Bill Peduto says he's not taking any chances when it comes to the event on Wednesday. No protests are expected, but he ordered all city workers to stay away from the city-county building on Wednesday. The mayor also says police and public safety have been in daily contact with the FBI, and they're also working with New York City counterterrorism units. A Butler County man is behind bars after police say he made a disturbing Snapchat post on social media. State police say Ryan McConnell posted a photo of himself with an AR-15 rifle and a canister of ammunition. The caption at the bottom said, quote, "Ready for school." With the help of the FBI, police say McConnell was arrested in Center Township yesterday with guns and ammunition. We continue to follow an investigation into a deadly shooting in Penn Hills. Police found 32-year-old Jamal Paplin shot multiple times in the parking lot of Monroe Muffler across the street from Numbers Lounge on Frankstown Avenue. He died at the hospital yesterday. Investigators say several cars were parked there when the shooting happened, but so far no one has come forward with any information.
We love you. We're looking for you. Please, please call your sister.
A desperate search for a man that hasn't been seen in 2 weeks. Family and friends gathered on the south side yesterday to hang up posters. They're looking for Bill Casale. The 62-year-old was last seen January 3rd at Pittsburgh Mercy Hospital. behavioral health, I should say. We are told that he was there for an appointment but got agitated and left.
He has no wallet, he has no phone with him, no meds, so we're extremely worried about that. He suffers from acute anxiety, and we're worried that he may become aggressive.
2 sightings turned out to be false alarms. Anyone with information is asked to call police. Pennsylvania is mourning the loss of a state senator who passed away after a battle with brain cancer. Dave Arnold was elected to represent the 48th district in a special election last January after serving more than a decade as Lebanon County's district attorney. The district also includes part of York and Dauphin counties. Governor Tom Wolf ordered state flags to fly at half-staff after news of Arnold's death. He said in a statement that Arnold fought hard every day for his constituents, even while he was fighting a terrible disease. Arnold was 49 years old. Today is Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and because of increased security, the holiday will look a lot different around the country. There are no events at the MLK Memorial in D.C. because the mall there is closed. The Department of Homeland Security closed areas around the Capitol ahead of the inauguration. The closure affects all National Park Service property and memorials across D.C. Despite the changes, Americans are still encouraged to volunteer to improve their communities as part of a National Day of Service. Local food banks are also holding collection events today. Where's my money? That's the question many out-of-work Pennsylvanians are asking. What's slowing down the much-needed unemployment benefits? An unofficial town bird shot. Why the game warden says he had to take action.
Cloudy right now and a break in the snow, but more's on the way. I'm timing it out for you, letting you know what to expect later on this evening.
And a tense week only adding to our anxiety. Why taking time for yourself could be a key in keeping you calm. An investigation is underway after a fire destroyed a home in Collier Township. This video shows a shell of what's left of that home along Carnoustie Drive. Several hours earlier, we caught flames shooting 20 feet from the roof of the home. It took hours for crews to get that blaze under control. Fortunately, no one was hurt. A truck crashed over a hillside in Spring Garden last night. Our crew spotted the SUV being towed from the intersection of Iden and High Streets just after 8 last night. You can see a lot of damage there. No word on if anyone was hurt. A food drive to honor fallen police officers broke records. Organizers say they pulled in 40% more food over the weekend compared to last year's event. And they also got more than $2,000 in donations. All of it benefits the food bank at St. Margaret Mary Church in Lower Borough. The fundraiser honors New Kensington officer Brian Shaw and Lower Borough officer Derek Katecki. Both were killed in the line of duty. The riot at the U.S. Capitol and possibly more violent protests are taking a toll on the country's mental health. It comes atop an already difficult time as millions worry about rising COVID case numbers, job losses, and food insecurity. NBC's Sarah Dolph has that story.
Scenes like these sparking anxiety across America.
We're living in a crazy world these days.
Adding to the already existing stress of COVID-19. A Boston University study found rates of depression have tripled during the pandemic.
Well, it's certainly normal to not feel normal these days.
Mayo Clinic psychologist Dr. Craig Sawchuk says that mental strain can manifest physically and emotionally.
We may see that in terms of sleep disruptions, sleeping too much, headaches. Some of us may react more emotionally. We may find that we're just more sad, more down. Maybe our emotions are a little bit more blunted or we're more irritable.
He suggests taking news and social media breaks or setting limits, for example, 30-minute windows twice a day. Try to eat well, make sleep a priority, and connect with those you care about.
Doing things like that can help us stay reconnected with healthy supports in our life and start to build in some of those pressure release valves that we've really been needing over time.
When it comes to talking with kids about what has happened, let them take the lead by asking what they already know and what worries them.
It's really important that we acknowledge and we validate the worries and the stressors, that our kiddos have, but also be optimistic about the future.
Ways to cope during increasingly difficult days. Sarah Dolph, NBC News.
Struggling families are worried about their unemployment benefits. 2 federal COVID programs expired last month: the Pandemic Unemployment Assistance and the Pandemic Emergency Unemployment Compensation. New funding for those programs was part of the recent federal stimulus package. However, things are now taking more time. That's because the federal government has new requirements, including increased verification of benefits. So the state has to revamp the computer system, which takes more time. State officials say there's no timetable for when the payments will resume. $2.2 billion is on the way to help public schools deal with the impact of COVID-19. The money could be used for a wide range of activities, including finding new ways to measure and fix learning losses, clean and sanitize buildings, support food programs, and to train teachers to deal with remote learning. The money could also help districts buy technology to make sure students don't fall behind. This is for public schools only. Some of the state's bigger districts could get up to $25 million total. And that money could also be used to improve students' mental health. Experts say student anxiety levels are at an all-time high, and the best thing parents can do is ask questions, engage with their kids, and never deny how they feel. A new Navy warship will be named after Pittsburgh. The USS Pittsburgh will be the 5th named after the Steel City. The first was an ironclad gunboat during the Civil War, and this most recent one was, the most recent one, I should say, was decommissioned in 2019. Officials say Pittsburgh is a proud city with a strong legacy of service. Virgin Orbit successfully launched its first rocket into space. The 70-foot rocket detached from a retrofitted Boeing 747, nicknamed Cosmic Girl, flying over the Pacific Ocean, and it ended up in orbit Sunday evening. When the missile broke free, it propelled itself at a speed greater than 17,000 miles per hour. That is fast enough to orbit the Earth. Virgin is now the 3rd new space company to reach orbit after SpaceX and Rocket Lab. Check out this video showing a plane making an emergency landing on a beach in Florida. Pretty scary stuff there. The plane's pilot says just 24 minutes into the air yesterday, the engine died. A student was flying the aircraft at the time, but the pilot took over. She said she wasn't going to make it back to the airport, so she set the plane down on the beach near St. Petersburg, and no one was hurt.
Your severe weather Team 11 forecast.
Little break in the action right now, but here's a look at some of the snowfall reports we had over the past couple of hours. Really, we had the snow move in overnight and some more out there this morning. Greensburg 2.2 inches, Valencia picking up almost 2 inches, Ohio Pile 1.5, and a Waynesburg report there at 1 inch of snow. And we are going to continue to see more snow showers build in later on today. I'll time those out in just a second. Visible satellite shows the abundant cloud cover across the area. Those thick clouds are typical for this time of year. I've actually written an article on our website and on my social media pages about why it is so gray around here so often, if you want to check that out. Wind forecast here this afternoon. This is a snapshot at 3 o'clock. Winds are up around 10 miles per hour. I think they could be sustained as high as 15 miles per hour through the remainder of this afternoon with occasional gusts to 20. They're going to be coming down a little bit more so later on tonight. Here's 11 p.m. Winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. They will pick back up, though, as we head into the day tomorrow. As for our forecast for the rest of today, here's your forecast. If you are heading out for a walk like these people in the picture, you can see our temperature at 30 degrees at noon goes to about 31 degrees at 3 o'clock, and my forecast high is about freezing. So we are looking at temperatures not climbing a whole lot this afternoon, maybe another degree or two, and of course feeling colder when you factor in the wind. You also have some snow to deal with later on today. Snapshot at 3 o'clock shows more snow showers that are in the picture, and these will continue to move through from west to east. And just like the last couple of days where we've been tracking these snow showers, most locations see about 1 inch or less, unless you get under some of those persistent heavier bands in which you could see some isolated higher totals, which is about what I showed you with the snowfall reports in some of those areas out there from the overnight snow. So that's what we're looking at as we head into the morning tomorrow. Here's 10:30, still a few lingering snow showers about the area, giving way to a decrease in that activity until we get back in to your Tuesday night and Wednesday. Wednesday, we do expect some snow showers, but coming up the next half hour, I'll explain what else I think we might see throughout the day on Wednesday. You're going to want to stay tuned for that. 28 overnight tonight, southwest winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. So it's a cold start to our morning tomorrow. Tomorrow afternoon, we're only near 34, and the winds do increase to 10 to 15. Gusts occasionally up to 20 miles per hour will once again put the feels like numbers in the 20s. Here's my forecast for tomorrow. Area wide, about 34 in Indiana, 34 in Beaver, and freezing up in Butler. 5-day forecast, your weekend always in view. Temperatures will be in the 20s for lows, and then they're only going to be there for highs on Wednesday. We have a push of Arctic air coming in about 28, 39 and partly sunny to mostly cloudy on Thursday. Thursday looks dry for now. We took the snow out of the forecast, trending drier. 33 with the chance for an isolated snow shower on Friday. And your weekend, Saturday and Sunday, is going to be cold out there. 28 on Saturday, falls to 18 into Sunday morning. Keeping it cloudy for the first half of the weekend, and perhaps a few breaks coming in by Sunday with that temperature up to 31.
All right, thanks, Danielle. Local lawmakers don't want another repeat of November's election. The changes county leaders want to see to speed up results in the future. And lesson learned, the unlikely voice of reason for a mom who left her son alone in a running car when she ran into a store. Neighbors left in shock after they say a free, roaming, friendly turkey they considered a community pet was shot by a game warden in Westmoreland County. Neighbors say the bird, nicknamed Butterball, was considered the unofficial mascot to this Salem Township village. They told our partners at the Trib the turkey didn't bother anyone and people enjoyed playing with it, including the children. A makeshift memorial popped up outside the village's lone playground. The Game Commission warden understands why people are upset, but says the agency received complaints that the bird was stopping people from entering the post office, and so killing it was justified. Officials also said that because the owners let the turkey run free, it was the property of the state. A woman has her son back after a thief stole her car with her child inside, but she got a bit of a scolding in the process. It happened Saturday in Oregon. The woman said she went into the grocery store to pick up a few things and left her 4-year-old son in the car with the engine running. While she was inside, a man got in the car and drove off. The woman told police. The man then drove back to the market, yelled at her, and threatened to call the police because she left her son in the car.
As moms, we get really busy and we think we're just running in for a second, and this is just a perfect example of just letting our guards down.
The mom said the boy was not harmed during the ordeal, and police are still looking for the car thief. Local governments have been rethinking security in the wake of the attacks at the U.S. Capitol, but one local county has been considering changes for years, and it's finally happening. The $2.5 million security switch just ahead.
It is dry right now, but more snow is on the way and also still to come. We'll let you know when we could actually see some snow squalls in our forecast.
Well, snow showers have moved through. Meteorologist Danielle Dozier tracking when we could see another round in Severe Weather Center 11. Danielle?
Yeah, we certainly had those snow showers move in last night and early this morning and left a coating and even a couple of inches in some locations. And yes, we are getting a break right now. A little bit of flurry action is possible through the early afternoon, but more will be heading our way by late day and evening. So if you do want to download our Severe Weather Team 11 app, that'll keep you updated on the radar if you're heading out. As for right now, 30 degrees, a wind chill at 21. It is overcast, but snow on the ground, as you see in the picture. Shoveling forecast. Some of us may still have a little snow on our driveways to clear, and so it'll be cold out there. Make sure you have your heavy coat and your beanie on like this guy. 32 at 2, 31 at 5, and temperatures only top out near freezing with gusts to 20 will make it feel like the 20s throughout the afternoon today. I am tracking more snow in the forecast. I mentioned that. I'll have your timing on my storm tracker maps to let you know when it could move through your neighborhood, as well as when some heavier snow actually will be greeting us as we head through the middle of the week. That's coming up.
Thanks, Danielle. While local hospitals want to vaccinate as many people as possible, a major concern is over the growing number of wasted doses. Once taken out of cold storage, the vaccine vials spoil, if not used, within 6 hours. So after vaccinating healthcare workers, nurses are desperately trying to find someone to get the vaccine last minute. Dr. Anthony Fauci believes some states are following the CDC distribution recommendations too strictly, and that's what's leading to doses being wasted.
The one thing you don't want is that if you have vaccine left over, then just move on to the next group.
UPMC says they're ready to administer vaccines to people 65 years and older. As we've told you, we are expecting to learn more about when that could happen later this week. There is growing frustration nationwide with the slow rollout of the vaccines. People nationwide are having a hard time just getting one vaccine, while others are not getting their critical second dose. And now in California, a scare involving a large number of vaccines there. NBC's Carrie Sanders has the latest.
Overnight, California reaching an unwanted milestone, becoming the first state to pass 3 million COVID cases. Health officials there are investigating a large batch of Moderna vaccines after a higher than usual number of severe allergic reactions at a San Diego clinic.
The second I said something about my ear, they all sprung into action. They grabbed an EpiPen and they took me from the area where I was sitting at onto a gurney.
330,000 doses of those vaccines have already been distributed to nearly 300 providers statewide, who are now being asked to delay using the shots. Meanwhile, the nation's demand for the COVID vaccine unrelenting, while distribution of the highly sought-after shot is falling far short.
We stand very, very vulnerable, and the state is supposed to be helping us.
Much of the anger directed at the Trump administration's failure to provide the stockpiles of vaccines it promised.
And the fact that we've underdelivered to so many states on this second dose is deeply concerning.
And frustrating.
It is a total cluster.
In Florida, the Department of Health says more than 40,000 people who received their first vaccine dose failed to show up for the second.
Your fear for those who skip the second dose?
There's no ability to be flexible with that. There's no ability to be the exception to that rule here. You need to get that second dose.
By Inauguration Day, the COVID death toll could reach 400,000. At the current rate, health officials fear we could reach 500,000 deaths by February. President-elect Biden promising 100 million doses in his first 100 days.
The feasibility of his goal is absolutely clear. There's no doubt about that can be done.
Allegheny County is leading the vaccine rollout in Pennsylvania. Close to 34,000 people got the first dose, which is the most in the state. PA is still in phase 1A, which covers healthcare personnel and residents of long-term care facilities. When COVID vaccinations expand, experts say employers will be critical in getting everyone vaccinated. Companies know how to organize programs like flu shots or blood drives.
And it's well managed because that employer knows those employees, can manage the roster of individuals showing up, can better schedule.
President-elect Joe Biden says he wants 100 million Americans vaccinated against COVID in his first 100 days in office. There's a push to speed up election results in the future. County commissioners throughout Pennsylvania want state lawmakers to allow them to count mail-in ballots before Election Day. In the November election, more than 2 million mail-in ballots were cast in Pennsylvania, but counties were not allowed to start counting them until election morning, which delayed the results for days. They also want to set up earlier deadlines for accepting mail-in ballot applications. Scary times. The attack at the U.S. Capitol has a lot of local government officials rethinking security. It's always a top priority. And Channel 11's Melanie Gillespie learned a plan that has been in the works for years in Westmoreland County is falling into place.
Westmoreland County is getting a facelift with its security.
I think this year in 2021, in the first 15 days, we've seen a lot of examples of why county government and all governments need to have some sort of security in place.
County commissioners unanimously approved a nearly $2.5 million contract to a security company out of Homestead to install a new system to consolidate about 2,000 cameras and computer software, not only at the courthouse, but the Westmoreland Manor, County Jail, Juvenile Detention Center, Forensics Building, and Public Works. Commissioner Doug Chu says even though it comes with a hefty price tag, it should give taxpayers peace of mind.
The large number of buildings, the large number of places that need cameras, the large number of places where the public can go and interact with their government, we want those places to be safe for all of those people.
Chu said today's uncertain political climate didn't sway the decision to upgrade the county's security. It's been in the works for years.
Because technology really advances, I think we all realize at such a fast pace that equipment we had started with a decade ago was no longer serviceable, parts weren't available, and so it was really time to start over from scratch.
He says it'll give park police the ability to oversee county property from one universal location.
We want them to be able to do monitors that protect from all over our county facility so that we can respond to something before it becomes a problem.
And Melanie tells us commissioners expect the upgrade to be complete sometime next year, assuming there are no delays because of pandemic-related issues. The start of tax season delayed, and of course it's because of COVID. What it means if you are hoping for an early refund. If you were planning on getting an early jump on your taxes, you'll have to wait. The start of tax filing season was moved to next month. Michelle Chavez explains why.
The IRS says they've pushed back the start of tax season to February 12th because of last-minute changes in 2020.
A lot has happened, right? You had a whole new tax bill, new economic stimulus payments that are coming out that was done December 27th. So it's a challenge for the IRS to make that happen.
Professor Phil Hackney tells me the IRS has had its hands full since those changes went into effect in December.
It forces the IRS to have programmers come in and change things. The IRS itself has to change up forms. It's a pretty significant cost to the IRS and time to them to make those changes when the law changes like that at the last minute at the end of the year.
The IRS says the start date will ensure that people get their needed tax funds quickly, while also making sure they receive any remaining stimulus payments they are eligible for as quickly as possible. That means you won't be able to file your taxes until February 12th. And Hackney tells me there's a benefit to the delay.
It's the right thing to do under the circumstance. It's more likely that you get things right and don't have mistakes early.
He says some companies may allow you to submit your return, but they won't be filed to the IRS until next month. Some people say the later start date won't affect them at all.
Every year I used to claim on February or March, and I get back on April.
And for those who like to wait until the last minute, the IRS says the deadline is still April 15th. Michelle Chavez, Channel 11 News.
Now may be the perfect time to tackle clutter in your home. Why it's not just about buying containers to put all of your stuff in.
More snow showers are on the way later today. I'll time those out for you. Plus, I've got a look at when some Arctic air moves in and when some snow squalls could move into our forecast.
Some King's family restaurants are up for sale. Our partners at the Trib learned 8 of them are now on the market. But don't worry, the company told the Trib the Frowny Brownie isn't going anywhere. All 16 locations in Western PA and Ohio plan to stay open. King's has been around since opening its first restaurant in 1967 in North Versailles. We have a recall alert to tell you about. 760,000 pounds of pepperoni Hot Pockets are being pulled off store shelves. The Hot Pockets could contain pieces of glass and hard plastic. The parent company, Nestle, says that it's received several complaints about the frozen sandwiches, which were made between November 13th and November 16th. They were shipped nationwide. You can go to WPXI.com for more information. A new work of art made possible by an unlikely benefactor shines the spotlight on the student loan debt crisis. Called the Da Vinci of debt, it's billed as the most expensive piece of art in the world. Natural Light Beer is behind this display of more than 2,000 diplomas provided by real college graduates across the country. It's on display in New York's Grand Central Terminal. If getting organized is on your list of things to do, you're not alone. More than $20 billion is spent on organizational products each year. Experts say anyone can do it, and it doesn't have to cost a fortune. Dan Scheneman has the details.
I've helped thousands of clients transform their homes.
I'm a recovering super slob.
Cassandra Arson is an organizational expert.
So the big myth is if I only got organized, then I'd have space for everything. But organizing doesn't create space. Decluttering creates space.
A free quiz on Arson's website, Clutterbug, helps find your organizing style.
If you know what naturally works for you, you can set up a system that actually stays organized for good.
I think your space is a reflection of you, and by organizing it, you're setting yourself up for success in the rest of your life.
The Spruce's Melanie Berlier says take baby steps when tackling the clutter.
It can often help to divide a space into smaller sections that you can tackle within an hour and do a little bit each day.
The Spruce teamed up with Lowe's Home Improvement stores, offering a line of storage items to help make the process easier.
There are containers in many different sizes that can suit any different space.
So identify your hot spots wherever it is in your home, and then look around that space where you can take that hotspot and dedicate a home for it.
Arson says fear can be a stumbling block.
Don't be afraid to try, and don't be afraid to fail, because that's how I really found out what worked for me, was trying new things, not trying new containers and new products, but rearranging things in my home until I found what really worked.
Finding what works and starting the new year off with a clean slate. Dan Scheneman, NBC News.
Your severe weather Team 11 forecast.
Well, if you're wanting to get outside over the next few days, I can let you know that right now we're starting to see a few flurries build into the forecast, and then by evening we should be dealing with more scattered snow showers, if not a little bit sooner than evening. You can see on Tuesday I've got AM snow. Could be a few lingering snow showers around in the morning. Wednesday I am tracking scattered snow showers, especially in the morning, and then Thursday right now looks dry. Temperatures are ranging from upper 20s to low 30s across our region. Right now in Pittsburgh, it is a cold 30 degrees. This is below average in case you keep track. Average is mid-30s for this time of year. Later on this evening, we'll be right around 31 at 7 and 30 at 9 p.m. Maybe you're making a run to the grocery store. We should be dealing with scattered snow showers. Wind chills will be down in the 20s. This is our forecast wind chill. I have a screenshot here at 6:30. The feels like in Pittsburgh could be right around 25. This will at least give you an idea. Of course, the wind chill will depend on the exact wind at that moment when you factor in the air temperature. But again, mid-20s the feels like in general. Storm tracker shows 4 o'clock this afternoon. We do have some scattered snow showers coming up in the picture, and these white shaded colors indicate where they could be moderate to heavy in intensity. So just like the last couple of days over the weekend, we could get some heavier bands. In general, most locations see less than an inch. If you get under some of the heavier persistent snow bands, you could see a little bit more. We'll carry that chance into the early morning hours of Tuesday, but it looks like the data is trying to dry things up for the most part. Could be a little bit of snow, though, I think, passing down well to the south throughout the afternoon. Then we focus our attention on late Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. And this is the time frame where I was talking about the potential for some heavier snow showers, maybe even some snow squalls. And when we talk about squalls, we mean that we could be driving a little bit and have really light snow, and then all of a sudden you come to an area that there's some really heavy snow with some gusty winds, and that that would greatly reduce that visibility, or limit that visibility, that is. So that's what we're looking at potentially as we go into early Wednesday morning. We'll keep you updated on how that forecast unfolds, but Wednesday could be the day where we pick up a little bit of accumulating snowfall in a lot of locations just because of that factor that I told you about. So we're looking at mid-20s to upper 20s air temperatures tonight, about 28 in Pittsburgh, 27 in Washington. That goes into tomorrow morning. Tomorrow afternoon, I'm forecasting a high of 34. The model data here going 35. You get the idea, mid-30s and close to average as far as the highs are concerned. Then we have the Arctic air blasting through the area. The coldest of the air, though, should stay up to the north. That's that white and that purple shaded color. But we do get a pretty good shot at some colder air coming in here on Wednesday, where highs are only going to be in the upper 20s. We'll rebound back to 39 on Thursday, then back down to 33 on Friday. Another push of Arctic air comes in for our weekend, because look at the high on Saturday, only 28. We're down to 18 into Sunday morning. Outdoor plans on Sunday will be a little bit better as the temperature climbs back into the lower 30s.
All right, thanks, Danielle. Holiday retail sales were up from 2019, despite how the pandemic shook up typical holiday shopping patterns. Many retailers started sales as early as October and kept stores closed on Thanksgiving Day. They also put more deals online and expanded contact-free options. Now here's local steals and deals.
All right, so I know that right now we're all spending a lot of time at home. We want to make home special. We want to spend a little more time outside. But how do you do that without a whole home remodeling project? Wait, I have a better idea. This is the Flicker Fire personal fireplace. And isn't it the best idea? Because you can just literally have this fabulous little fireplace anywhere you want to have it. It's bigger than a candle, but it's a personal fireplace and you can use it indoors or out. So I love the idea of a chilly afternoon, a chilly evening, and you have the Flicker fireplaces out and you keep your hands warm and you can roast marshmallows. And I have my graham crackers and chocolate chips and white chocolate. Oh, roast marshmallows and then dip them like fondue or pour chocolate sauce over them. Wouldn't that be amazing? But hey, maybe you're going to stay inside. And you're just thinking, you know what, I'd like to add a little ambiance to family dinner. Take some of these, put them down the center of the table, put the food on either side. Automatically, it feels like you're someplace special in a restaurant, some faraway exotic land that none of us are going to right now. There's something about a fire, a beautiful little fire that you can have anywhere you want and you don't have to worry about it. I also love the fact that this doesn't take any stinky fuel because it just uses rubbing alcohol. So how simple and easy is that for a really great clean burn? And I have been seeing these everywhere in the coolest, most posh places where I know you're going to pay what you normally pay, but right now on localsteals.com, they're 29% off. So perfect time to stock up, perfect time for gift giving. What do you get someone? They have a birthday coming up or a housewarming gift or a hostess gift. What do you get them? A Flicker Fire personal fireplace. I guarantee you it's going to make your days more cozy, whether you're spending them inside or outside, with family, with friends, or by yourself. There's nothing better than a fireplace that goes with you anywhere, everywhere, all the time. I know you're going to love it.
If you've ever climbed a huge flight of stairs or fallen off a bike, you'll recognize how crazy this is. Check out this French mountain bike champion. He scaled a 459-foot tower in Paris that is 33 stories, and he did it all on his bike. 768 steps without ever putting a foot on the ground. Did it for a charity which cares for children with serious illnesses. A new survey lists Pittsburgh the most affordable area in the country. Real estate site Trulia took a look at home prices and they compared it to people's income, mortgage payment, and property taxes. The survey found 22.5% of homes in the Pittsburgh area are 100% affordable to the average home buyer. That is the best in the entire country. Columbus, Ohio, and St. Louis, Missouri trailed by at least 4 percentage points. The Powerball and Mega Millions jackpots just keep climbing. The combined jackpot is now over $1.5 billion. And even though the odds of winning are slim to none, there is still lottery fever. Of course, you can see both drawings right now, or right here, I should say, on Channel 11. You're going to have to wait a little bit, though, till 11 at 11 during WPXI tonight. And the Mega Millions is up first. That's Tuesday. And the Powerball is next. That drawing is Wednesday. That's all for Channel 11 News at noon. Our next newscast is tonight at 5. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.